Honorable Foreign Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. The presentation that I'm going to make is based on a PowerPoint. It's more technical in nature to make you understand the impact, the losses, and what are, the needs. I would draw your attention to the very first page of the presentation, which actually sets next. Stay on to previous one. Yeah, which actually talks about the climate change and ultimately its outcome. Next, please. Yeah, if you look at this slide, we lost this spring this year, 2022. We moved directly from winter to the summers. That was followed by 4 heat waves, where we faced forest fires, and our large tracts of the forest remained on fire for weeks. Yeah. We were followed with the drought warnings, and this is exactly where the United Nations community here in Pakistan, along with NDMA and all other stakeholders, started talking about and worrying about what is going to come as an outcome of this drought. But then came, what we faced, the early and unprecedented monsoon with very horrific consequences. Next, please. Yeah. What we had thought about, our meteorological department, they thought that this time, based on their assessment and studies, the monsoon rains are going to be slightly above normal. And once they said slightly above normal, it meant 25 to 30% above normal. Next, please. Based on, this assessment, through the effort with our all stakeholders, that is the provincial disaster management authorities, the federal agencies, the UN offices and systems here, the humanitarian organizations, we carved out a contingency plan for the monsoon 2022 and issued this plan on 12th of May. This was immediately followed by an exercise, simulation exercise, jointly conducted by United Nations and the National Disaster Management Authority, where all the stakeholders relevant to the disaster management participated overwhelmingly. Next, please. Coming on to what happened after having gone through, the estimates that we had forecasted. Contrarily, this is what we got. Overall, in Pakistan, 186% more rainfall compared to 30 years normal average. The Sindh got the highest, 466%, followed by the Balochistan. Even all other provinces and regions are also above the normal average of 30 years. Next, please. This is a very instructive slide, and I would like to explain it in a bit more detail. Our traditional monsoon areas lie in the north of the country. These are into the Azad Jammu and Kashmir, northern and central parts of Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, eastern portions of Balochistan, and the northern parts of Sindh. This time, instead of going to the traditional areas, the monsoon actually first hit us in the first 2 spells into the province of Balochistan and South Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, including the 2 districts of Diyai Khan and Tank, followed by a massive, build-up of the rain in the next 3 spells into Sindh, and then moving up north, the last spell towards northern part, including, Azad Kashmir, KP, northern Punjab, and Gilgit-Baltistan. If you look at, this slide, this explains how much the rainwater has come down from the skies directly into various areas, coupled with the flash floods, hill torrents, leading to urban flooding. This is something we had never thought of and we had never experienced, and that is where, the challenge lies. Next, please. Yeah. As an outcome of all this rainfall and what we got as an outcome of the climate change, today 72 of our districts 221 of our tehsils and 6,597 of the union councils have been formally declared as the calamity hit by the provincial governments. And the number is likely to increase as we speak because the calamity continues. Next. I will just draw your attention to these couple of slides from the SUPACO, our satellite producing agency. If you look at the left cut, it is of 11th of August. And if you look at it over here, it is of 23rd of August. Draw the comparison how this was on 11th and how this is. This all indicates the total inundation. Next, please. If you look at the second one, this is where the river Indus moves, and this is the Larkana. The complete district has been inundated. Next. If we talk of the numbers, more than 2 million acres of the agricultural land, 33 million population, 5,127 people rescued, and the persons in the camps are near 500,000. Next, please. The brunt, the casualties in terms of the deaths as well as in terms of injuries, the figure has crossed 1,100 in case of deaths and 1,600 in case of injuries. The brunt has been borne by the vulnerable, that is the women, children and the elderly. This is likely to increase due to massive inundation where the houses are coming down and people are still facing the challenges to the survival and life. Next, please. If you look at this slide, this speaks of the infrastructural damages and also the loss of livestock. The most critical out of these are the bridges on our critical arteries and roads, the damages to the houses in a very, very large number, and this is unfortunately likely to increase. And also the loss, massive loss of the livestock. Next, please. Once we speak, our two major water retaining structures, that is the Tarbela Dam and Mangla Dam. The Tarbela Dam has gone to its full capacity, whereas Mangla Dam, which used to be filled by this time, is still vacant by around 53%. And the reason is that its catchment areas, traditional monsoon areas, didn't receive the rainfall. Next, please. As we speak, this is what is the condition of our various rivers running down from north to the south. We are still having, high floods, medium floods in certain, and a very high flood at Nowshera. But however, the situation is not very, it's under control. There is nothing to worry much at the moment. We are grappling with this situation that is being faced here. Next, please. I'll just, show you some of the videos, very selected one, to just highlight how difficult and